In the midnight glow where the stars align, we lose ourselves in the rhythm divine. Underneath the sky painted with dreams we're chasing.
Welcome to episode 25. I'm Jody.
And I'm Mari.
And today is our second episode of our new series where we're following the sun through your chart. We have entered Taurus season. If you listen to our Aries season episode, it was all about starting, initiating, and taking action. And now we've shifted a little into Taurus season, which invites us to slow down, to settle in, and to actually enjoy what we've become. So I feel like this is a big shift because Aries can feel exciting and very fiery, and then Taurus is a slowdown. It's very earthy. We're here to ask, what is sustainable? Does it actually feel good in life? Do we want to continue to do it? With Taurus being an earth element, it's very grounding, it's steady, it's slow, it's on purpose. And sometimes we resist that energy because we're so used to moving fast, especially coming from Aries season. Taurus reminds us we don't have to rush to create anything meaningful. You just have to stay with it. This is a season for building, stabilizing, and enjoying.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think of it as Aries lights the fire and Taurus teaches us how to sustain it. It's that sustaining power. It's a fixed sign, right? It's in the middle of the season. It continues the work of that initiating energy of that cardinal Aries, that fire. And it's holding steady and continuing that to add wood to the fire, right? So
Yeah.
It's the archetype of the builder, themes around stability, security, self-worth, pleasure, slowness, groundedness, peace, and devotion to what really matters. What do we really value? What are we devoted to? And it is ruled by Venus. So there are definitely themes with Taurus season around beauty, love, values, money, and pleasure. Taurus asks, what do I value? What do I want to build? And what feels good and is sustainable at the same time?
Do you think that people struggle with slowing down, going from Aries season to Taurus season? And how do you feel about it?
I definitely do, especially because, again, Northern Hemisphere, I can only speak from my own viewpoint and vantage point on the planet here. But the energy that builds in the spring this time of year too is really hard to resist. So I do think, especially now that we have, it's sunnier, it's warmer, everything's waking up, and Aries season really just lights that fire under us and ignites this excitement. It is kind of hard to then immediately want to slow down. And I would say just in general, in our society, in our world, the idea of slowing down and giving yourself the grace and the time and the permission to slow down actually can be really hard for all of us because it doesn't feel in keeping with the pace that society kind of pushes, that go, go, go mentality and accomplish, accomplish, accomplish. And Taurus is so slow and steady, but I think it is a permission slip, if we look at it in that way, a permission slip to slow down and enjoy. And it's like luxury and, that it's sensual in a way, Taurus is. And
your moon is there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Taurus moon. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a Taurus moon. So I think that's something that maybe even more from personal experience, I'm speaking, giving myself the permission slip to take my time with certain things, to allow for like a slow cup of coffee, just sitting on my porch and doing nothing else. And that little voice in my head is like, you should, be doing the dishes or the laundry, or you have this whole checklist and like you're wasting your time. But I really don't believe being present in a really beautiful moment is at all a waste of time. And so it's reminding myself of that.
Right. Yeah. And we still have a lot of fire going on and airs coming in. So that is going to really keep that fire element in that energy of movement and making things happen. But I am so comforted by Taurus season is what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I have Taurus on my midheaven. My Jupiter's in Taurus. So I really take comfort in the earth element in those seasons. So it'll be interesting this year, I think, with all that, the fire and air that we have going on, and then going into Taurus season, bringing in that grounded earth
Yeah, that's such a good point that there may be even more of a challenge this year in particular to slow yourself down because there's going to be still so much fire and air energy contained with the outer planets and also some of the faster moving planets as well still being in fire and air. So yeah, definitely good point.
Yeah.
So speaking of transits, we're going to take a look at what is moving through Taurus during this Taurus season. So Taurus season this year officially kicks off on April 19th. That is when the sun is going to be moving into the sign of Taurus. And right away in the early days, April 23rd, there is an exact conjunction of Venus and Uranus in Taurus, right before Uranus is going to move out of Taurus forever, not forever, but for until 84 years from now.
Yeah, for a while.
It comes back around. Probably for the rest of most of our lives. It will not be back. Yeah, so what might that be bringing up for you? This can bring about sudden shifts. Again, Uranus, sudden, quick, fast-moving changes. Sudden shifts in relationships, money, values, and your self-worth. So it can bring up unexpected changes or breakthroughs or just a desire for freedom in love or your finances. So it's the signature of breaking out of outdated value systems. And that happens on April 23rd, that exact conjunction. You might be feeling it a little before, a little after, as with all sort of transits. They kind of build up to that exact and then kind of fade away. And then April 26th, just 3 days after, Uranus will officially enter Gemini and will no longer be retrograding back into Taurus, which I believe is going to be a sigh of relief for most of us. We've talked about this before. Uranus is not particularly comfortable in Taurus. Taurus doesn't like change. It likes things slow and steady and predictable, and Uranus is not that. So we're shifting out of disruptions around money systems, food systems, body relationships, stability structures. We've been working through that since 2018-ish. And it may have felt like financial unpredictability, redefining security, and awakening around self-worth. And we have touched on all of this before, and we've really gone into Uranus moving into Gemini in a previous episode where we were speaking about Uranus specifically. So if you want to know more about that, listen back in on that episode because we do a deep dive, and I'm just going to leave that there for now. And then the next transit I was going to highlight is Mercury moving through Taurus, and this happens mid to sort of late season, Taurus season. May 3rd through May 16th is when Mercury will be moving through Taurus, and it will be exactly conjunct the new moon, the Taurus new moon on May 16th. So we've got that Mercury element added in with a new moon. But Mercury in general, moving through Taurus, can sort of stabilize or bring clarity around what we were working on early in Taurus season with that Uranus conjunct Venus thing. If something felt uncertain or like it was shifting in the beginning of Taurus season, this is where things kind of start to land and become clear around why that was happening. Themes here could be slowing down the mind, really quieting your mind. Meditating is really important during this time, grounding your thinking, making practical decisions, speaking with intention. But it can really feel like mental clarity after some of the earlier shifts, a desire to make real, tangible plans, thinking less and deciding more, right? Bringing things into earth, bringing in things into reality, out of the mind and into the physical world. And conversations become more honest, steady, and rooted. At least that is the supportive energy, right? If you take that and use that. And then just a brief touch on the full moon and new moon for this month. So the full moon will be in Scorpio this month, and that happens on May 1st. So it happens before your Taurus new moon, May 1st. A question to ask yourself on the Scorpio full moon might be, what am I holding on to out of fear, control, or attachment that I'm ready to release? Full moons are about a culmination point of the journey over the previous 2 weeks that we've been building something, right? And then it asks for release, because then you move into the waning half of the lunation cycle. And then the Taurus new moon happens on May 16th. And like I said, it has that conjunction of Mercury there as well. And this is around planting seeds around your worth and stability. So what am I ready to build that will truly support me is a question to ask yourself with the new moon.
Yeah,
That's
so
all I have.
fun. Okay. So to make this more personal, what you want to do is grab your birth chart and look at where Taurus is and what house it's in. That's going to be where the energy shows up for you throughout Taurus season. And maybe it's 2 houses if you're using Placidus. When we look at that new moon that Mari just mentioned, I mean, at that time you have the sun, the moon, and Mercury all in Taurus on May 16th. And then depending on your house system, there might be some more things happening in there because Uranus is still right there at 1 degree Gemini. So technically it's still conjunct the new moon. Grabbing your chart and taking a look, what we're going to do now is go through the 12 houses and kind of give you an idea of what that might look like throughout the houses. So the first house, this is the house of you. This is your body. This is your energy. So Taurus here is asking you to slow down and reconnect with yourself. Maybe doing some self-care or moving a little slower, feeling confident without rushing. Anything you want to add here?
Yeah, I just seconding everything that you said. Yeah, ways to work with this could be having awareness about how you feel in your body, really tuning into your body, checking in with your body. This is an area that I personally struggle. I laughingly describe myself as a floating head because I live in my mind so much that it's dropping down into my body is something that I really consciously have to do. I have to make that choice because doesn't come natural to me. But subtle but powerful shifts in self-image could be coming up, realizing what's no longer aligned physically or energetically for you. You might want to change how you care for your body, food, rest, movement, invest in your physical presence, clothing, skincare, posture, a strengthening, and let your identity be shaped by what feels good and sustainable. Asking yourself, does this pace of life actually feel good in my body? And anchor new habits that support your nervous system. This is all about grounding.
Yes. And essential oil support for Taurus in the first house would be Balance blend, which is a doTERRA blend, or frankincense. And these will help you come back into your body and feel centered. A couple ways you can use them is using an essential oil diffuser or making an essential oil roller ball blend where you could put 5 or 10 drops of the essential oil and then fill the roller with fractionated coconut oil and wear it as like a perfume or a emotionally balanced blend for the day. User bracelets are great. They have the lava stones that absorb the oils. So that's a great way to carry around your oils with you throughout the day, and you can just kind of reapply as needed. And then second house, this is money, values, and what you have. So if you have Taurus here, you're right at home. It's focused on building stability and security. Your fun here is creating income, feeling supported, and allowing yourself to enjoy what you've built.
Yeah, you're wanting to build something steady here. Not necessarily quick money, but real money. You're rewiring your relationship with your worth. And that means your physical, tangible money and possessions, but also your worth. So some practical advice might be tracking your money for awareness, not judgment of yourself, but sometimes I need to do that too. Refresh my memory on what exactly I'm all signed up for in my subscriptions and do I really need this anymore? It's just a refocusing, rehoning that area of your life in a methodical, well thought out way. And ask yourself, am I being compensated in a way that reflects my value? Again, around your finances. Are you actually asking for what you're worth if you are your own business owner, or do you deserve that raise? Have you asked for it? That might be a really good time to say, I know my worth and I know I'm not being compensated for it. So,
and essential oils to support the second house in Taurus would be wild orange or cinnamon. They will help support abundance and confidence. Next, we have third house, and this is communication in your everyday environment. Taurus here slows down your thoughts and invites us to be more present. That's a great reminder to be more present. Your fun here is a simple conversation or maybe journaling or enjoying a moment instead of rushing through it. So do you see the theme? The slow down.
Definitely. Yeah. It's all about grounding the mind and voice and that mental overwhelm that many of us, I think, feel again in our fast paced world that we live in, slowing down into clarity. So new ideas might be coming in that actually feel doable, something sustainable. And there's a real desire to communicate with more intentionality. So speak slower, more intentionally, turn your ideas into something tangible, taking it into the earth element where we're bringing it to life and physical reality, writing, teaching, creating content, clean up your mental clutter, journal daily to ground your thoughts, and focus on consistent communication, not constant communication.
Right. That's a good way to put it. Okay, so essential oil support for Taurus in the third house would be peppermint or rosemary. And both of these really help with clarity and focus. Taurus in the fourth house, this is home, family, and your emotional foundation. Taurus here wants comfort, peace, and a sense of safety. Your fun here is creating a cozy space, being at home, or feeling emotionally grounded.
Yeah, this is about creating true inner safety in your home life and your deep emotional life as well. So ways to work with this can be beautifying your home, doing that Taurus nesting thing. I have Taurus moon in the fourth house. This is where my Taurus lives. And so my home is very important to me, and making it peaceful and beautiful and colors that are soothing and grounding for me. It is my home is my recharge station where I find peace and grounding. So create routines that feel safe for you. Take care of your inner world and your mental health, because again, fourth house ruled by the moon. That's our emotional body as well. And ask yourself, does my environment support my nervous system? Right? Am I at peace here? And make one change in your space that brings you peace.
And essential oils for the fourth house would be lavender or serenity. And these oils are really great for calming and that emotional support. And then we have the fifth house. This is creativity, joy, and self-expression. Taurus brings pleasure and enjoyment in what you create. Your fun here is hobbies, romance, and doing things just because they feel good.
Yeah, this is really a focus on pleasure, creativity, and desire. So you are allowed to prioritize your joy without guilt during Taurus season. Create something slowly and intentionally. Explore sensuality, not just sexuality, but sensuality. It's very connected with Taurus and makes a lot of sense in the fifth house. And practically, you can schedule joy like it matters. Schedule joy actually put it on your calendar. This is my space to create or play or whatever that looks like for you. And ask yourself, what actually feels good to me? It's a little bit of looking at bringing that inner child back into your life and loving it in a really grounded, sweet, slow way.
Yes, an essential oil support for Taurus in the fifth house would be lady lang or citrus bliss. And these are great for joy and creative expression. Sixth house, this is your daily routines, your health, your habits. Taurus here encourages you to build routines that feel good and that are sustainable. Your fun here is creating simple habits and taking care of your body in a steady way.
Yeah. Yeah, the focus here really is sustainable life system. So focusing on consistency over intensity. The earth signs can have a tendency to want to overwork, but Taurus, out of all of them, is able to sort of see that, yes, consistent work needs to be done, but we don't have to be in a rush, right? It's just slow and steady wins the race. It's very consistent and goes at a sustainable pace for our nervous system. So practical ways to work with this can be start one habit and stick to it, not 5 habits or 10 habits, right? We're not doing a full overhaul on our whole, sixth house of all of our daily routines. Just one thing, make one change and really stick with it. Ask yourself, can I realistically maintain this, right? It's for those of you who have Taurus in the sixth, this energy. You probably know yourself well enough to know that in order to keep going with habits, you need to introduce them slowly and work one thing at a time.
And some essential oil support would be lemon or our Digestin blend, which is for daily support and balance. Seventh house, this is relationships and partnerships. So Taurus here brings steadiness, loyalty, and consistency to your connections. Your fun here is building trust, spending quality time, and feeling safe in your relationships.
Yeah, this is really focusing on stability within your relationships. So you might want to cultivate conversations with your partner, your closest friends. I kind of put them here as well. Your clients, right? Your business partnerships, those one-on-one close relationships that you have. You might want to put attention into conversations with those people around things like stability, your values, or the future, what you're building together. There's a real desire for consistency here within relationships. So be honest about your need. Choose stability over intensity. That's a repeating theme, right? And build trust through your partnerships with consistency. Show up, be consistent from that really loving, nurturing place that Taurus also holds. Ask yourself, does this relationship feel safe and steady? That applies to any close relationship you have. And have those grounded, calm conversations. Really try to ground yourself if you're talking about something that could be a touchy subject. It's a really actually a supportive energy for bringing those things up and holding that calm, loving, beautiful energy of Taurus.
Yes. And essential oil support for Taurus in the seventh house would be rose essential oil or geranium for love and heart connection.
Oh, I forgot to mention that because of the Mercury moving through Taurus as well, that really supports those conversations. Mercury, the mind and how we speak and communicate. So that is a very supportive energy that is coming in as well.
Yes. Eighth house, this is depth, intimacy, and transformation. Taurus here brings grounding for deeper emotional experiences. Your fun here is meaningful connection, emotional honesty, and feeling safe to open up.
Yeah, this is an interesting placement for Taurus because Taurus likes safety and the eighth house doesn't always feel particularly safe, right? So this is about learning how to trust. At least that's where the focus is during this month. If you have this placement natally, you know that energy anyway, but this is where the focus is. So really, this is encouraging you to get emotionally vulnerable around trust and intimate bonds and to really build that security together with those that you're very intimate with, ultimately, probably your partner, right? In this instance, ground yourself before going deep. If you're going to go into one of those conversations, really make sure that you feel safe and grounded. You're in a place that's supportive to your nervous system before you go into those vulnerable conversations. It's a great time to focus on stabilizing your shared finances or resources. So kind of echoes some of that second house theme there, but this is particularly shared finances. And build trust slowly. Everything about Taurus is slow and steady. Ask yourself, where do I need more stability before I go deeper? Don't rush emotional exposure. Let it unfold naturally.
Essential oil support for Taurus in the eighth house would be sandalwood or myrrh for grounding and emotional depth. The ninth house is growth, learning, and expansion. Taurus here slows down the need to rush into new experiences. Your fun here is learning at your own pace and enjoying the journey instead of chasing the new thing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is about grounding your beliefs. So you may be reevaluating your beliefs, or there is a desire or a spark for doing some meaningful learning. You might want to start studying something. But again, it might be something slow, it might be a long program that you're about to enter and work towards, which if you natally have Taurus here, you're good at anyway. You're probably very good at doing the slow and steady learning. But take something you believe and live it. Bring it into physical reality. Study something practical. Ask yourself, how can I apply this belief in my daily life? And turn your inspiration into structure.
Support for the ninth house would be basil or peppermint for inspiration and mental clarity. Now the 10th house. This is your career, your public life. Taurus here is about building something steady over time. Fun here is to create a career that feels stable, aligned, and meaningful.
Yeah, ultimately this is about building a sustainable path for your career. That's where the focus is during this month. So you may be realizing what is not sustainable within your career if you've been overgiving, overdoing, and you're at burnout, this may really bring that to the forefront. But opportunities may also come up to build something real within your work. So take slow, strategic steps towards your goals and focus on long-term vision over quick wins. Ask yourself, am I building something that will last? And show up consistently.
An essential oil support for the 10th house would be cedarwood or frankincense for focus and long-term vision. The 11th house is friendships, community, and goals. Taurus here brings steady and supportive connections. Your fun here is building meaningful friendships and creating something together.
Yeah, cultivating aligned community. What in your communities and your groups and the people that you hang out with and the associations that you have and align with, is that still aligned for you? It's asking to kind of reevaluate those things. And you might have a desire for more grounded community.
Yes, and essential oil support for the 11th house would be grapefruit or bergamot, and they bring lightness, joy, and social connection. And then 12th house is rest, reflection in your inner world. Taurus here invites you to slow down deeply and reconnect with yourself. Your fun here is rest, quiet, and allow yourself to be. An essential oil support for the 12th house would be Clary Sage or the Adaptive Blend, and they are great for emotional release and calming the nervous system. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend and be sure to like and follow us so you don't miss out on the next one. Thanks for joining us under the stars today. We hope you're leaving feeling inspired, grounded, and more connected to your inner truth.
And if you loved this episode, we would be so grateful if you would subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone you love.
If you're ready to explore your soul's path through psychological, evolutionary astrology, and personal astrological coaching, you can find Mari at yoursoulpurposeastrology.com or follow her on Instagram and Facebook at Your Soul Purpose Astrology.
And if you're ready to illuminate your birth chart and explore how essential oils can support your emotional and energetic alignment, you can find Jody at earthandskyessentials.com or at Earth and Sky Essentials on Facebook and Instagram.
And remember, your soul is always guiding you.
The magic starts within.